All right, guys. So your boy got to do NFL, and now your boy hitting the NBA. Let's go. So, guys, get in on all the action with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. So here's what we're doing now at DraftKings, because we're always up in the ante. We're giving you no sweat bets. So here it is. So all new customers, bet a minimum of $5, and DraftKings will give you a bonus bet back up to $1,000 if that bet doesn't hit. So it's no sweat. You can bet up to $1,000, and even if that bet doesn't hit, you will get a bonus bet back to match that number by using my promo code DCTV. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use my promo code DCTV. Bet $5 and you can receive a bonus bet back up to $1,000 even if your first bet loses. Only at the DraftKings Sportsbook using my promo code DCTV. A no sweat bet? I mean, these guys are constantly up in the ante. Go and download that app right now. Crown is yours. All right, guys, I'm back. So last week, I was at the state wrestling tournament. We got third. Congrats to the Gilroy Mustangs, our 3 state champions and 11 state place winners. We are so proud of you. But now your boy DC's back. The season's over, and we're ready to work. For all you that wondered why I was not on the pay-per-view last time, it was because we had our conference championship. I did not want to leave the kids because you know DC loves the kids. So I chose that instead of the pay-per-view. I'm back to work this weekend, and I'm back to work in Miami, Florida, which will be a phenomenal fight card. Speaking of Miami, Florida, Sean O'Malley headlines that card. And as we get closer to these fights, obviously, the headliners will be in the news. Sean O'Malley, who is set to defend his championship for the first time, is on the tip of two people's tongue. One, he is calling out Ilia Topuria for his first title defense, but he is also being called out by Ryan Garcia, the boxer who is very famous for his boxing skills, but more for his looks and his relationship with a lot of people in pop culture. He's going to be fighting Devin Haney soon. Devin Haney thinks it's going to be a wipeout. He didn't fight as well against Tank, so I don't know how he's going to do. You know, people relate him to Oscar De La Hoya, but De La Hoya was like an absolute savage, and he fought everyone. Let's see what happens with Ryan Garcia. Well, Sean O'Malley, when Devin Haney was asked about this, his answer was very prompt. Fuck no, Ryan Garcia can't beat Sean O'Malley in an MMA fight, and fuck no, Sean O'Malley cannot win a boxing match against Ryan Garcia, which makes all the sense in the world. But what about this, guys? Why don't we get to Sean O'Malley fighting Chito Vera for the first time before we start putting him into all these other fights? This guy hasn't defended the belt yet. Let him defend the championship before we start forcing him into boxing or he starts calling to fight for a second championship. How about we get to a title defense? How about we get to Miami? Because, look, I like Sean O'Malley. He's always very generous with me. But we have to be honest with ourselves. Why not get through a fight with Chito Vera, a guy that beat him the last time? Regardless of whether or not Sean wants to acknowledge that, I know the fight didn't play. It was the same night that I fought Stipe for the last time. But he lost the fight. He lost. I know it was anticlimactic. It didn't end in the way that we were thinking it was going to end. But at the end of the day, a loss went on the right side of his record. Let's get through that before we start putting O'Malley into all these other things. And how about the fact that this fight will show us what O'Malley is as the champion in terms of his star potential and his box office appeal? Because Aljamain Sterling said he didn't really see it as clearly as he expected. But Sean wasn't the champion. Aljo was the champion. This is the first time we see Sean O'Malley on the left side of the poster, on the left side of the arena as the champ, and we see what he does in terms of pay-per-view numbers. let's see that first, because what if Ryan Garcia sees the numbers and goes, well, is it really worth it? Because maybe this guy isn't doing what we thought he is going to do. Or maybe Sean just blows the roof off of this place and the sells gangbusters. Now, all those avenues will be open. And Topuria will then maybe respond to the call out from O'Malley and accept that fight, champion versus champion. You know, as I was gone, Jon Jones started making the rounds. One, I guess he was doing a seminar or something, and he was talking about me and the way that I fought and the way that he fought me and how he exploited some of my aggressiveness against me. I have spoken on numerous occasions about how he did a fantastic job of timing knees. Yes, and now he said he did it in the hand fight, but he was making these sounds, right? I just want everyone to know that while it seems as though he wants to give me my flowers, he likes to make fun of me. You know, people say stuff like Jones lives rent-free in DC's head, da, da, da. What about him? He's doing a seminar, and he's doing 3 things talking about me. DC used to throw this overhand right and get into the high crotch. Compliment. DC fought very aggressive, so I would do this, and he would make this sound. I wonder if he gets the same thing that I get when I respond, because in many instances, I am responding to what was said about me. Jon, for a long time, has done that, but he comes out smelling like roses on the other side when I respond. Look, hats off to him and his team for building a great game plan, because I was going to fight with a lot of forward pressure, but I'm not 6'5". I had to. He did a great job of countering that. Hats off to him. But just for the record, it's not just me making these things up in my head about Jon Jones. He's out in public speaking about me also. That's why I respond. So again, in response to what he said, that was a tremendous game plan. I love the sound he made that I would make when he would knee me in the belly, because for a long time he's called me fat. I got to see the fat under his chin for the first time. And it's so crazy too, because for a long time he called me fat. I remember one time I had a picture and I had my fat rolls off the side and he would make fun of me. Isn't it crazy that now Francis Ngannou is doing the same thing to him, calling him fat? Because last weekend we saw Jon at the PFL fight talking about what his future held. You know, initially he said that the Stipe fight would be it. I thought, and so many others, say that they feel we need to see him fight against Tom Aspinall. He now seems open to that. Now it does not seem like the Stipe fight will be the end of the career, because I believe that Jon Jones still has a lot to offer for the UFC. I believe that Jon Jones, at his age now, I don't know, he's 37 or something, can fight for another 2 years. And I believe that there are some big fights out there for him. He also recognizes that there is no fight bigger than the Francis Ngannou fight. That's why he is talking to him. That's why he is still hoping for that. I don't know that that happens, because not only do I not know because Francis is in the PFL, but I just don't know if Francis is going to fight MMA again. So I think it might be time for all of us to let go of the idea that we are at some point going to get Jon Jones fighting Francis Ngannou. But what we should celebrate is that Jon Jones seems to be ready to fight past just Stipe Miocic, because I've got to know what this guy really has at heavyweight. He is the greatest light heavyweight of all time. But what does Jon Jones look like in an extended fight? I believe we will get that versus Miocic. And now that he says he'll fight Aspinall, I believe we get that against Aspinall, a young, hungry lion that wants to do nothing more than take your head off. A fight card that might be available to Jones is UFC 306 at the Sphere, which is the belle of the ball. Everybody wants to fight there. Nate Diaz says, to hell with UFC 300, put me at the Sphere. I want a headline. Guys, I respect Nate Diaz. I like Nate Diaz. But I believe that now it is time for us to start to be honest with ourselves so that Nate can start to be honest with himself. There are only a couple people that he can headline a pay-per-view with right now, just because of where he is in his career. And I think that's Conor McGregor, if they do the trilogy, and possibly George Masvidal. But I think we also have to be honest with ourselves in this regard. We are keeping these dudes, Masvidal, Diaz, relevant because when they say things, everybody jumps on it like I am doing right now myself. But does that pay-per-view, Noche UFC, look better to you with Nate as the main event? While the name value is exciting, Nate Diaz, the fighter, isn't that guy anymore. And he'll get mad at me and he might say something to me when I see him. I don't know. I don't really care. But we have to tell the truth. This isn't the guy that beat Conor the first time. Nate has had moments against against Leon Edwards. He had a moment. But outside of that, he got beat on the whole time. The last time he's won a fight was against Tony Ferguson. And we know who Tony Ferguson is today. So I don't know that I need to see him main event the Sphere. Would I watch him fight on the pay-per-view card? Absolutely. Because most of these great guys from the past get that chance. But to be the headliner with all these great fighters that are deserving of that spot, I don't think so. I don't need to see that. I don't think that that is fair to the roster to have a guy that is kind of 1 foot in, we don't really know what Nate's doing. Sounded like he was going to fight Jake Paul again. Still in the news. George Masvidal said something the other day like, Nate, you're dead, in the news. But I don't know, man. I saw a picture of George Masvidal, or at least I think I did. That can't be George Masvidal. He really looked like the king of Miami, Rick Ross, if that is George Masvidal. And hats off to him if that is, because that dude is living life if he is. I guess I'll see him in Miami next week to see if that's really him. But I don't think so. Henry Cejudo also wants on at the Sphere. I spoke to Henry the other day about his career. My suggestion to him was continue on because I believe that there's still some fight left in him. I don't know, though, if those fights are against the elite of the elite in the world. But he calls out Brandon Moreno because he's a champion, and that's what champions do. Look, man, a lot of good stuff going on in MMA right now. I'm fired up to be back. I'm fired up to have time to do these videos again for you guys. And I'm fired up about Miami. I'm fired up about my show about to start with Chael Sonnen. I've got a lot of good going on in my life right now. But none of it happens if not for you guys, who I love so much. I appreciate all the support. Guys, please get Jon Jones off of me. Tell this dude to leave me alone. I'm retired. I do this for a living. He's not retired, though. We're starting to look very familiar now as he continues to put his weight on. Come on, John boy. Get that weight down and get back in the octagon. Guys, till next time, like, subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends to subscribe to the channel because I'm going to keep putting these videos out. I'm going to keep checking into you guys. Until next time, peace. Hey, go also to TikTok. I've got a TikTok. Go search Daniel Cormier. And I've also got a podcast, an audio version of everything that I do here. Get it wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify. I'm everywhere, baby. But make sure you come to my YouTube channel because you know you want to see your boy DC's face. Until next time, peace.